Good morning. So today I want to talk a little bit about fascia and about the neck. Last week when I did a demo for my neck, so I talked about throwing your neck out because we've all been there, right? You wake up one day and you literally can't look anywhere because the pain is just so intense, but it's also everywhere in the neck and in the shoulders and in your back. So in that circumstance, I recommended to not try to stretch the neck through that acute pain. You wanted to wait until it was minimized and a little bit more under control. Maybe you still had some discomfort, and then offered a stretch more for the shoulders, because when our connective tissue and fascia gets really tight and dense, it can restrict the muscle contraction, the blood flow, the nervous system flow. And so when you stretch the areas near where you have pain or the opposite side of the body that you have pain, oftentimes then you can get a little bit of relief without going directly to the source of the pain. That brings me into a little bit more depth of conversation with fascia. I've been around now talking about fascia, trying to educate as much as I can. There are other people out there doing amazing fascia work, and I'm learning from them as I continue to grow and expand my practice. I do one-on-one fascia stretch sessions. Stretch is kind of a tricky word because it's not like traditional stretching. As I've mentioned before, it's really quite opposite. It feels like it's upside down for the body, and it takes a little bit of time for the body to acclimate to it. What's great about fascia work is that when you self-fascia stretch, you are actually strengthening your body at the same time. So anytime you're creating activation with movement, the part of your body that's creating the movement is being strengthened. So there's a huge fitness element to it as well. Foam rollers, the balls that we work with our feet and our neck, all of that stuff is great and it's really helpful too. But the work that I do is a little bit different in that it also affects scar tissue. And scar tissue is tricky. It's great for our body. It's our body's protection mechanism to make sure that if we have injury, that it tries to heal that injury or prevent that injury. Such as the case is overstretching. When we overstretch the fascia, which is a couple ways to think about it, but thinking about it like saran wrap around your muscles, and then it dives down into the muscles. It gathers around every muscle fiber. It's around all of our organs. It's in our brain. It's literally everywhere. The reason we are all connected and able to move and function is because of it. So now when you have fascia throughout the muscle, it eventually thickens, gathers, and then can become tendon, which then attaches to the bone. So when you fascia stretch, you're only working within a shortened range of motion or a shortened muscle rather than a lengthened one. So for me, I overstretched my hamstrings. So if you can imagine, when you stretch, you lengthen them until you feel the stretch, and then you go a little bit past that. But when you go past that point, the body says, I don't have that capability in that particular muscle, and microscopic scar tissue can be laid down. And over time, that just builds up and it almost gets gunky or sticky. And the muscles really just don't function as well. That's why science is really working to evolve this practice, because when fascia is improved, the health of it's improved, dense or congested areas are cleared up so energy can flow through the body or even the nervous system, the potential for your body to heal is incredible. The potential for your body to improve its performance is incredible. The nervous system really plays a massive role in this, and so all of these different parts are connected. Going back to the scar tissue thing, so I overstretched my hamstrings many times, many years as a dancer. And I had MRIs to show a very large amount of scar tissue on my butt bone. And what that does is protect the actual tendons from snapping or tearing off the bone structure, but then it binds it down like cement. So then I decrease my flexibility even more, or my capabilities of that muscle lengthening are decreased. And pain then is an indicator of a problem in that area. But this particular work in terms of scar tissue is incredible, because if you get to that spot, everyone has that spot, right? Like it's my left shoulder, it's my right hip, or whatever it is. If you can find a few different various activated movements for fascia, maybe in that direct spot, but maybe on the opposite side of the body, if you can clear out some scar tissue, the potential for your body to recover is unlimited. And that's exactly what happened to me. And I had gone through a series of fascia stretches that literally changed the scar tissue. And prior to that, I had done a lot of different modalities to try to heal or change that scar tissue. And one massage therapist years ago said, if you came in many times and she just very gently would work on as much as she could on the edges of it, maybe there would be some benefit or some healing. But that was difficult to commit to. And then when I was able to change the scar tissue so dramatically in 10 minutes with this fascia work, with a partner, my instructor did the work on me, I was blown away. So that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit. This is just the infancy of fascia, and what I know about it is that when I work on someone's body, what I see happens is absolutely mind-blowing, and it's so gratifying for me just personally and selfishly almost, because I can see the changes in their bodies, and just to see people feel really better and very quickly is just awesome. It's so much fun to be a part of that and to be able to give that tool to people. So that's the work I do on people. It comes up in various forms, but there's a lot of activation movement. It's not a passive treatment. There's a little bit of manual work as well. But then you also can self-fascia stretch. Think of it almost like a cross between massage, yoga, and a workout session. And it's really kind of all that in one. When you hit a spot that is like, whoa, oh my gosh, I really feel that, that shows you that you have dense fascia, and that stays there forever. All it does is starts to inhibit your movement and your body's function. So it's a really cool discovery tool as well. All right, I could talk more. I love talking about it, but now let's go back to the neck. So last week, I threw my neck out. As I said, let it be. Don't stretch it, move it, crack it, any of that stuff. Just let it be in the most comfortable position you can. Heat, ice, whatever feels most comfortable. And then eventually work the tissues in and around it, so the shoulders. Well, now today, much better. It's been about a week, but managed for the most part. And now I'm gonna go into the neck a little bit more. A couple things to think about first. Posture for the neck is so important. A lot of us have lost the body's need for proper posture because of modern life, and we've heard it a million times now. We're all like this. We're all at the table. We're all working on our computers or in cars. So everything is forward. Head is forward, neck is shortened, chest is shortened, everything, shoulders are rounded forward, and it just eventually will wreak havoc, and we will be battling chronic pain in the shoulders and in the neck forever. So it's best to get into the best posture to do the work, and then as you continue the work, then that will ease up, and eventually we don't have to think about it as much, and it becomes more natural in the body. This is something I'm working on all the time as well. There's one fascia chain that I want to mention before I go into more of the specifics with the neck. The fascia chain, there's a lot of them through the body, and it basically helps us describe that how we develop in utero. Embryology is a huge area of science right now that's just really fascinating. But basically different tissues of the body fold into each other, creating these chains. Sometimes when you're like, oh, I have really bad shoulder pain, someone releases your opposite hip and it helps your shoulder. That's because of the fascia connection in that particular chain of fascia is deeply connected. There's a chain that goes from the bottom of your foot, wraps around the legs, up and crosses the body to the opposite side of the shoulder, around the back and behind the neck. So this particular fascia chain I want to mention more specifically, I'm learning about it, but it's really plays a role with our neck issues today. There's a fascia line and chain that starts from the jaw in the front of the neck that runs down the front of your body and goes down into the pelvis. So we hear a lot about pelvic health, whether it's being able to release it or also to use it as part of your deep core. So that chain is also really dense and also creating almost like this C-shaped curve with our body, bringing everything in and forward and making it even harder to get into a proper posture and alignment. So we're battling not only gravity, posture, but also this fascia chain is getting denser the more we let this happen. All right, now I promise we'll do a little for the neck. The neck posture is a slight chin tuck. And that's a tricky thing to say because people want to tuck like this, which we don't want to do. Imagine your chin resting on a table. And you want to think about pulling the chin straight back towards the back of your throat like this. Okay, that's it. You don't have to go as far as you possibly can, so then all of a sudden the shoulders go forward. Your shoulder blades are just resting as if they're in your back pocket, and then the chin goes towards your throat. Not down, not up, but back, as if you're pushing a button back, creating a little bit of a double chin, which looks so lovely, right? The idea is to get the ear close to alignment with the shoulder, okay? So as much as you can achieve that, if that's not available to you, or if it feels uncomfortable or you feel pain, only chin tuck as far as you're able to that's comfortable and pain-free, okay? That's your position. Next, fascia is not stretched like muscle. You're not lengthening it. You need to compress it, and to do that, sometimes you need to contract your muscle in a shortened state, or you can use your hands to help out. This particular one I'm going to show you, I've just been playing around with for the past few days with I've been dealing with my whole neck issues. So you're going to take your hand and you're going to basically cup your neck. The front of our neck does not get a lot of attention, and it needs a lot of attention because shortened, dense tissue, locked place, just what I already said. So you're just going to hold the side of your neck, the skin and the muscles gently. Even just doing this, the palm of my hand, I can kind of feel something a little uncomfortable there because it's very dense. You're gonna almost hold your neck in place or almost down like this. Keep that slight chin tuck, and then your head moves in the opposite direction. So almost like you're solidifying or stabilizing here. Ooh, as you start to move there. I mean, I can feel this all the way up behind my ears. There's a muscle called your sternocleidomastoid that connects all the way up here and kind of wraps across in a diagonal. And that guy gets real mad. Mine's mad. Holding it down and then creating a little bit of movement. If you feel it really intense, it's a really good thing to start to work on. It doesn't feel so much like a stretch, but you are affecting the fascia by doing that. So you can push a little bit more into your fingertips and pull down and back a little bit more. You can push more down in the palm of the hand. You can look up. You can look to the side. Any movement in the opposite direction of the hand. Trying that on both sides might feel different on one side. Usually it does. Mine feels totally normal here. Feels like a little gentle stretch. The other side is like, what? The idea is to keep kind of pressing down as you move gently in the opposite direction. Okay. Next, the front of the neck. We often will want to be stretched in the back of the neck, but for the purposes of the postural and the fascial chain that I just talked about, the front of the neck needs to be stretched as well. So to fascia stretch that, the equation is that you shorten, activate, move. Bringing the chin not only towards the throat, but down slightly. Take your thumbs underneath your chin like this. Now you resist gently your face down or your chin down into your thumbs. And once you feel it activate gently in the front of your neck here, really gentle to start this, just lift your chin back up to center. You can do one variation by taking your hands to your forehead, bringing that chin down, still keep the chin towards your throat tuck. Resist your forehead into your fingertips. Keep bringing the chin to the throat. That's really important as you do this one, to bring your head up, maybe up a little bit. You're always keeping the resistance with the movement. That's the key with that. So just a review, fascia needs to be activated, stretched, manipulated gently, either by yourself, by someone else, in order to create change. It gets really important when we feel like we have stagnant energy in our body. We've all been hearing that a lot in science with fitness and body work. It's just going to keep growing when it comes to the body energy because there's a lot more to understand, but they're learning more and more every day. But when you unlock your hips, let's say, and it's almost like this freedom, this flow, this you can breathe again, it's such a relief. The nervous system can flow better to the legs. The muscles can contract, can work better for you, can strengthen more efficiently, heal more efficiently. But at the same time, that energy, or in traditional Chinese medicine, the qi, has freedom to move through, whereas before it was like a roadblock. So a lot of really cool things. The work is just great. So if you have any questions, any concerns, certain areas of the body, I'm happy to do virtual sessions to take people through more specific things, whether it's a particular issue with one shoulder. Our ribs are a really big problem. We have issues in the rest of our body and don't realize it's coming from being really bound down in the rib cage, not allowing for proper movement. And so a lot of what I do is really tailored and specific to people. When I see people one-on-one, I always have a game plan with some information that they give me beforehand about some things that are difficult with their body. But it always changes because it's an exploration and it's a discovery session where so many different things happen. But this work is really great, and I really think it's the future of how we prepare our bodies for fitness, how we prepare our bodies for performance, how we gain strength, endurance, stability, all of these things in every activity that we do. And not to mention the prevention of injury, because I think had I not stretched the way I did with not knowing it, I don't think that injury would have slowly, progressively started to take away the function of my leg. And maybe the outcome of my dance career would have been a little bit different. I don't know, but I really feel that with young athletes and dancers, if people are stretching or having them do activated fascia work rather than just traditional stretchings, or in a combination would be great too. I think it would be really an amazing opportunity to really see the full potential. So I know today I talked a lot. Oh, hi Carrie, nice to see you. Hi. But I always have so much to say. The research I'm doing is just growing and growing and growing, and I have a new website coming out and a couple new courses coming out. So some really fun stuff I'm excited about. So stick with me, ask me questions. I'm here and I'm so passionate about this, and I just really want people to have the tools, because 10 minutes for me changed my entire life, and it changed who I was so dramatically. So I felt like I was reborn again and woke up from a slumber from slowly progressive, body decline. And it didn't have to be that way. And I learned that it didn't have to be that way. So here I am teaching anyone who will listen. So thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.